The story begins as a boy named Haruto Amakawa moves to the city, leaving behind his childhood friend, Miharu. Years later, as Haruto dies in an accident, his memories are transferred to a boy named Ryo. He wakes up and he is surprised how he knows so much about Haruto and Japan. He even remembers Haruto's grandfather, who used to teach him martial arts. Ryo recalls that he is just a boy from the slums, and his only goal is to get his mother's revenge as she was murdered by an assassin. Soon a group of girls comes to Ryo, and they ask him if he has seen a purple-haired girl, but he doesn't know anything about this. The eldest amongst them, Vanessa, is rude to Ryo, and he reciprocates her behavior. Celia comes forward, and she apologizes for her friend, asking if he knows how they can get to the slums, but he tells her not to go there as they will dirty their clothes. Celia uses her magic powers to check for the girl one last time, but she isn't successful in finding her. However, they sense some magical energy from Ryo. Before leaving, Celia hands him a bag of silver coins, and he rushes back to his shelter. However, just as Ryo opens the door, he gets attacked by an assassin who tries to kill him, but luckily, the dagger hits the coins and he is saved. Time stops, and a pink-haired spirit named Aisha comes before him, and she calls him by the name Haruto. She then teaches him some basic fighting techniques so he can defend himself. Ryo manages to defeat the masked man, and he hears some noise, so he checks the sack, where he finds the purple-haired girl. She tells him to take her to the royal castle, and on his way he is captured, as they think he is the one who kidnapped her. They catch the masked man, whom Ryo had defeated earlier, but he is killed by a hooded man named Reese. On the other hand, Ryo is tortured by a soldier named Charles, as he thinks Ryo kidnapped the princess. When Princess Flora wakes up, she tells everyone about the truth and they free Ryo. They apologize to him, and after cleaning him and giving him some nice clothes, they present him before the king and queen of the Bertram Kingdom, who rewards Ryo by letting him attend the Royal Academy. At the academy, Ryo feels out of place as everyone mocks him for being a commoner. He goes to Celia for help, as she is a teacher there. She teaches him how to read and write, and she is impressed by his progress, and she notes that he is just as brilliant as Princess Christina. After witnessing his sword skills in class, Ryo is offered a role in the Royal Knights, but he politely turns it down. 5 years pass, and Ryo is selected to represent the Academy in a tournament against the Royal Guards. Ryo's first match is against Charles, whom he defeats easily, getting his revenge for the torture. During a school practical lesson, a boy who is jealous of Ryo is made the captain, and he makes Ryo carry all the bags. They run into goblins whom they defeat easily, but as they reach a cliff, they are attacked by orcs. A no-bell boy named Stewards accidentally pushes Princess Flora off the cliff. But luckily, Ryo dives after her and saves her. However, they pin the blame on him. Afterwards, Ryo returns from the pit and saves the princess's life once again by defeating a giant monster. But since the students believe he is guilty, he runs away. Later, he visits Celia and tells her that he is going to his ancestral kingdom, and this makes her sad. During his journey, he gets attacked by a beast girl, but he manages to overpower her, and he realizes she is also from Japan, and she died in the same accident as Haruto. He removes the collar from her neck, which was controlling her. She reveals her name is Latifa, and she was being controlled by stewards. She wishes to accompany him, as she is also heading east toward the village forest, where the demi-humans and the beast live together. At night, Latifa has some nightmares, so he uses his magic to calm her down, but afterward, they are attacked by beasts. They think he's kidnapping her, and that's why she has put her to sleep using magic. They capture him, but upon waking up, Latifa comes to his rescue, and she tells the whole truth to everyone. He is freed and they all apologize to him. They allow him to stay there, and during his stay there, he learns a lot about spirit fighting techniques and their culture. Meanwhile, Reese steals some wyvern eggs as he plots something sinister. Ryo tells Latifa that he is leaving and she wishes to accompany him, but he refuses as it's dangerous. The village elders find a large swarm of wyverns flying towards their village, so they go to check it and find the man who was helping Reese, However, before they can catch him, Reese kills him the same way he killed the masked assassin. Reese uses the eggs to make the wyverns attack the village, but Rio manages to defeat the biggest wyvern, and, seeing this, the remaining wyverns leave. The village folks are shocked at his powers, and as he is about to leave, they give him some partying gifts. They give him a sword, a black armor made from wyvern skin, as well as some other gifts. After that, Rio arrives at a village where he asks about his parents, and he meets his grandmother. She shows him his parents' grave and says they left the village due to a reason, which she can't reveal. Rio starts staying with his grandmother and his cousin Ruri. Thanks to his nice personality, he befriends everyone soon and starts helping them in their chores. One day, a nearby village chief's son, Gon, arrives there, and he demands to stay there as his cart is damaged. Rio's grandmother allows him to stay, and she ignores his rude behavior. Afterward, the royal tax collector, Hayate, comes to the village to assess their taxes. Later at night, Gon tries to do something evil to the girls, but Rio comes to their rescue. Rio remembers the time when his mother was murdered, and he takes out all his rage on Gon, and he almost kills him before he is stopped by Hayate, who arrests Gon. Rio thinks he has forgotten his main mission of avenging his mother, and he blames himself for this. The next day, everyone thanks Rio for saving the girls, and he leaves with the goods, which are to be sold in the royal capital. Shin and his sister, Sayo, are also part of Rio's party. Shin thanks Rio for saving his sister, and Rio later takes Sayo to the market where he buys her some stuff, which makes her fall for him. Afterwards, Hayate gives the letter he was asked to deliver to his father, Lord Guki. Rio is invited by Guki, and he tells him about his parents. We learn that Guki and his wife used to serve Rio's mother as she was a princess. Rio's father was a skilled soldier in the Karasuki army, due to which he was appointed as a royal guard. During his service, he fell in love with the princess, but during the signing of a peace treaty, the prince of another kingdom fell in love with the princess. He sent his guards to kidnap her, but they were unsuccessful as Rio's father killed him, because he was being hunted by the prince, so the couple fled the kingdom and started a new life. The next day, Rio goes to the royal palace, where he meets his grandparents, who are the king and queen of Karasuki Kingdom. He tells them about the man named Lucius, who at first was nice to them after his father died. But one day, he forced Rio to drink a potion, and then he brutally killed his mother before him. Rio vows to avenge his mother, and his grandparents want to test his strength, so they ask him to have a mock battle with Guki. It initially appears that they're both evenly matched, but Rio surprises everyone with his unique attack, and he manages to defeat the old man, who is considered the strongest warrior in the kingdom. They conclude he doesn't need any training as he is ready to face any challenge. Afterwards, Rio returns to the village, and he tells everyone about his new discovery. He meets Sayo, and he tells her that he will soon be leaving on a journey, and this breaks her heart. She starts practicing so she can join him on his mission, but he still declines her offer since he must carry on this journey alone. Rio returns to the forest village, and he is greeted warmly by everyone. He plans to stay there for a few months and practice his skills. One morning, as Rio wakes up, he finds a girl lying next to him. She says she's his spirit, and they made a contract. However, both of them can't recall the details. She doesn't remember her name, so he names her Aisha. Rio takes her to the tree spirit, but she has no idea why Aisha lost her memory. Aisha reveals she can use all elements of magic, which is very rare, and they're all surprised by it. To test her skills, Rio fights against her in a mock battle, and they are both equally skilled. Afterwards, Aisha is taught more about the spirits, and Rio gets ready to leave. The villagers give him a transportation device, which will allow him to return to the village easily. Rio then goes to the royal capital of Bertram, where he wants to meet Celia. However, when he reaches her lab, he finds it empty. They hypnotize a teacher and learn that Celia is getting married to Charles, because in Rio's absence, the kingdom faced a humiliating defeat, and Charles was the one who helped them in their peace negotiation. As Rio meets Celia, he asks if she is happy, and she denies being forced. She tells him to leave as it may get them in trouble, and the next day she meets Charles as everyone is getting prepared for their wedding. We learn that Charles has already been married 6 times. As Celia is about to take on her new role in life, Rio interrupts them, and the guards try to stop him, but he defeats them all easily. Charles is confident in his royal guards, but even they prove to be no match for Rio as he defeats them all and punches Charles in his abdomen. Rio holds Celia at knife point, and he again asks her if she's happy with this marriage. He says if she isn't, he is going to take her away from all of this, and hearing these words, she finally accepts her true feelings. He tells everyone that he is kidnapping Celia and tries to run away with her. He is pursued by everyone, but instead of killing them, he just knocks them out. Upon reaching a dark alley, Rio hands Celia over to Aisha, and he tells them to meet him later. Rio then comes against the strongest King's Guard, Alfred, who proves to be a strong opponent. He attacks Rio, but he manages to trick him into believing that he was killed by him while he goes back to the girls. However, their reunion is interrupted as they see strange lights. He rushes forward and comes across Japanese-speaking kids being kidnapped by some thugs. He saves them, and they tell him that one of their fellows is still locked. When he goes to free her, he is stunned to see it's his childhood crush, Miharu.